And yes, they say that indenture reminds us that history is a complex tapestry woven from the threads of many lives and experiences. And today we embark on a journey into pages of history, a history that is both powerful and deeply emotional. It's a story of human endurance, sacrifice, and resilience. It's a story of indentured laborers, particularly those from India in the 17th century. So what was indentured labor? It was a contract, a deal struck between those seeking a better life and those who could provide passage, food, and shelter. For many, especially those from India, it seemed like the promise of a brighter future. These brave souls left their homes, their families, and their land, embarking on treacherous ocean voyages. Most were young men between the ages of 15 and 24, though there were some women and even orphaned or vagrant children. More than a quarter of indentured servants did not survive. Many died of malaria, typhoid, fever, and other illnesses soon after arriving. Their journeys were marked by disease, malnutrition, and unimaginable hardships. Upon arrival, their struggles continued. They toiled in fields, mines, and factories, building nations brick by brick. They bore the brunt of harsh conditions, endured abuse, and saw their contracts unfairly extended. Yet, they persevered. The women too, who like their male counterparts, worked tirelessly. They faced unique challenges, often as domestic laborers. They could not marry without permission of their masters and were frequently subject to physical, emotional, and sexual abuse and did not receive any legal favor from the courts. Despite some similarities to enslavement, indentured servants ultimately attained their freedom once they completed their contract, while enslaved people were permanently denied their freedom unless they could obtain the means of purchase themselves or successfully escape. Now we can see that the legacy of these indentured laborers lives on, for they have contributed not only with their labor but also their culture and traditions to the societies they helped build. So today, let us honor the memory of those who endured the trials of indentured labor, especially the laborers from India. Their stories are a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome adversity, to adapt, and to thrive. In remembering their struggles and their triumphs, may we be inspired to build a world that values the dignity and rights of all its inhabitants, regardless of their origins or circumstances. For their journey, we find lessons that resonate with us today, lessons of resilience, unity, and the enduring hope of a brighter future. Good afternoon, Rolf.
Good afternoon, Sanjay, and good afternoon, everyone.
Tell us, what does indentured laborers mean to you?
Well, Sanjay, I'm third generation of indentureship, the indentured laborers who were taken from India to the Caribbean to continue to work at the sugar plantation for the British after slavery was abolished in 1838. Indians were transported from India from around 1838 until 1917. My grandfather and great-grandfather and grandmother from my mother's side were indentures, and they left Calcutta to Guyana in 1895. My grandfather was 5 years old, my grandmother was 24, and my great-grandmother was 24, my great-grandfather was 26. And it took approximately 6 months from Calcutta to Georgetown, Guyana, South America. And it was a system disguised as laborers under a contract with the British government lasting 5 years, after which you could choose to stay in where you are or go back to India. But it was, in actual fact, a system of slavery, which has a lot of consequences to the people who worked those plantations. In effect, they were slaves because the conditions they were living was in really, really bad. There was no sanitary, there was no running water, they had no protection, they had no representation. So they were at the beck and call of the plantation owners. So it means a lot to me because I know my grandparents suffered a great deal as I'd heard stories from my mother of what they went through. Very, very hardship. My grandmother died at 69, but when you see a picture of her, you would think she's 109 because of the hard labor they endured on this so-called indentureship disguised as a legal. It was like a legal contract. So it means to bring this attention to the world. It's like a system of slavery that's been forgotten and people don't know about it. Every time people ask me where you're from, I said, well, make a guess. And instantly they will go, oh, you're from India or Pakistan or Bangladesh. Whereas I'm not. My ancestries are, but I am from Guyana, South America. So, it's bringing awareness of this system that has been forgotten, either deliberately or not. So so this is what it is for me, Sanjay.
So what message would you give to the world?
I would say the world, we have to, again, just like the Atlantic slave trade, we have to learn from this and acknowledge the wrongs that many countries have done to other countries and other people around the world. And it's not only to Guyana. The Indians were taken, over 1 million were taken between 1838 and 1917 to Mauritius, to Fiji, to Guyana and Trinidad, to other islands like Grenada, Jamaica. So over 1 million who have been taken, duped in a sense that, oh yeah, you're going to stay for a contract, you'll be working in certain conditions, you'll be living under nice conditions. In fact, it was a lie. So we need to learn, be aware, hopefully again, not to make the same mistakes again. And that's what I would say. That's all I can say about this. It's a lot more, but we haven't got the time. But we need to learn and be aware of these system of oppression, exploitation that happened a long time ago. People say, oh, it's a long time ago, let's forget it, let's move on. Indeed, but we shouldn't. We should remember them and acknowledge them. And so that's the legacy of indentureship. So thank you for this moment to explain a little bit about indentureship. I mean, there's a lot more sources of information. The Museum of Docklands in Canary Wharf had a prominent exhibition called London, Sugar and Slavery, and also they just added the indentureship aspect of the system of slavery at the Museum of Docklands in the Canary Wharf area. So
Rolf, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjay. Have a good day, everyone. Take care.